This is James with Relief Strategies. And one of the biggest concerns that people have when we're talking to them about debt relief and debt settlement specifically is what will happen to my credit? Okay. This next tool, our credit score impact simulator, is designed to give you a realistic look at exactly that specific issue. Okay. Now, why does it matter? I mean, look, there's no sugarcoating it. And I'd have real concerns for anyone who tries to, right? Debt settlement is very likely to have an impact on your credit in the short term. But here's what most people don't often realize or consider. And that is that if you're drowning in debt, if your balances are high, especially with regards to limits, i.e., if you are a good candidate for debt settlement, your credit is probably already very likely suffering and being impacted, right? So the question isn't really, will my credit be impacted? It's really, what is the best path forward? And this simulator is designed to show you exactly that, right? So let's get into it. As with all of our tools, there's no cost to access them, and there's no need to provide any private or personal information, right? So to find this tool, you're going to want to go to our website, which is reliefstrategies.com, hover over the tools menu, and find the option you're looking for, in this case, the credit score impact simulator. Go ahead and click that. And then once the page loads, here we go. Go ahead and scroll down. You're going to want to pick your credit score or estimate of your credit score. So we're going to say that our score is about 625. So we're pick between 600 and 650, 649. And then it does require you to know some information like your debt to income ratio, your total debt, I'm going to say 30,000 or an estimate, and your monthly income. All right, so we're going to add that info there. And then you can pick any two options that you want to compare, right? Most people are already making minimum payments. We're specifically today talking about debt settlement, but you could pick any of these two. So we're going to compare minimum payments to debt settlement. And we're going to say, show my impact, okay? And then here's what that looks like. And I love this tool because it's going to show you in a timeline how you're going to be impacted and what it actually looks like. So over the course of 4 years, making minimum payments, staying where you are right now, is actually likely in this case to have a negative 35 point impact on your credit. So in a 4-year period of time, right? So go from 625 to 590. Should you enter a debt settlement program in the same 4-year time frame, it's likely to have your credit go from 625 to 655. And in the minimum payment, you're likely to still have 90% of your debt, whereas in the debt settlement program, you will most likely be debt free. And to show you exactly what that looks like, you can scroll down and get a timeline of how that looks, right? So first 6 months under minimum payments, your score is going down 15 points. Here's all the reasons why. The next 6 months, it's going down another 10 points. Next couple of years, it's going to go down another 10 points. And that's largely because you're staying in the same place and you're likely adding a little more debt to your total debt profile, right? Whereas if you evaluate debt settlement, yes, you're going to take a pretty big hit maybe for the first 6 months as things that aren't already late become late. But as you start paying those debts off, as you start achieving settlements, as you bring your debt to income ratio down and your credit utilization down, you should see all of those numbers improve, right? And then here are some of the key insights. So the bottom line being that very often, even though you will take a hit in the short term, programs like debt settlement can often return you to a better place than when you started over the next 2 to 4 years, depending on the length of your program, okay? Now, as with all of our programs, we do not require any personal information. However, if you would like these results emailed to yourself so you don't have to do the calculator over and over, you can optionally put your name and your email address in here and click email the results, and you will get an email with all this information, okay? Now, if you are struggling with, a high debt to income ratio, if you're wondering if settlement is right for you, or if you're working with clients and you're wondering the same, we can help. Reach out to us. Our website address is reliefstrategies.com, or you can always call us at 888-870-7922. Thank you very much for listening, and have a great day.